break them up into multiple slates.
Right. Is there... Hold on. Yeah. Cool. There's okay, so there's still on Saturday like a 500K prize pool, Saturday special, 100K to first. That's not bad. There's the playmakers 100K up top. All right. So they're still they don't want to do everything as huge for that one because then, you know, you might have trouble with the full slate, but I would assume that all of these are going to be pretty good. Do they have the Sunday? I had a feeling. So that's what they always do. The Saturday itself is smaller. Sunday, they still have 500K to first, Greg.
Yeah. It's still decent sized contest, but I feel like in the past they would have done like $1 million to first for like Saturday and Sunday slates individually.
Do it like they did. You would have thought they'd do it like they did for Wild Card Weekend, where the Saturday through Monday was like 100K to first. So it's still decent. But then the Saturday and Sunday were it's okay. I prefer it like this. I like this. We get 4 games. Hey, Good morning. Welcome to the Stokastic.com NFL Strategy Show. Yeah, we got some important stuff coming down the pike. Single lineup, really tournament strategy show here. We'll use the tools to guide us along the way. What we were talking about at the top, especially if you didn't watch First Look yesterday, check that out if you haven't. Every Tuesday, 10 a.m. was that DraftKings decided to make the biggest contest for the full Saturday through Sunday, which is awesome. That gives us 4 games. And I'll tell you guys, if you haven't looked into anything, if you haven't hand built, if you haven't used the sims yet, the single lineup sim to start tinkering, which you wouldn't have because we update projections every Wednesday, really just like a pretty rough update of projections to get some information out there. If you haven't done that yet, you won't know, but it's way easier to build lineups than it was last week. Greg, I would argue it's almost a little bit too easy on DraftKings this week to build really, really nice looking lineups.
Yeah, it was not easy last week. Well, FanDuel was particularly not easy, but we'll see as we go through. One thing that did end up kind of changing the slate as we got closer was even though Zay Flowers, we didn't expect him to play, he wasn't officially ruled out until after our show. And then we had players like Rashad Bateman projected a lot better, and Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely. But yeah, as always on these playoff slates, there isn't like a crazy amount of value because teams are just playing their best guys at this point in the season.
There's a little bit of value. There's actually more value than you'd think, but it's not, it's nothing that's going to excite you, right? But there are those guys do exist. Also, you have like, assuming Zay Flowers doesn't play, you still have a $4,900 Bateman. Khalil Shakir is $5,000. Isaiah Likely, who I believe in a game where they just ran the ball down Pittsburgh's throat, I think Isaiah Likely was the leading receiver for Baltimore, albeit only 53 yards. So there are some guys out there that are going to open some things up without question. It also leads, like Ben and I built out a lineup. I'm going to read it to you right now. Actually, yeah, entertain me for a second. Pull up the single lineup sim and let's just, do we have Flowers in is the question. That's what I need to know first. Because if we have Flowers in, then everything I built here goes out the window.
Yeah, we do have Flowers in as of now.
Okay. So then don't build that. It's fine to have Flowers in, but if I had to lean, I'd say 70-30 out for Flowers. 65-35. I'll hedge a little.
I think he plays. I think he
really?
plays. It's just such a high stakes game. And I mean, obviously it's the playoffs. I'm not saying anything breaking, but at least last week, the Ravens were very much expected to win, whether he played or not. I'm not saying he's going to play and be effective, but my intuition is that he ends up playing this game, even if it's just in a decoy role.
Okay. Yeah, it's just very strange because it's an important spot, but at the same time, I don't think this is a totally non-serious knee injury either. Like, I don't think he banged it on the door frame, coming into the facility. This is like, we saw he was in a ton of pain. If this wasn't the playoffs, you would think that he's out multiple weeks at the very least. So we'll see. If we have him in now, that's fine because neither of us actually know. We're just taking guesses at this point. But Ben and I were able to build a Lamar Jackson with Gibbs and Barkley and Jamison Williams with Khalil Shakir, Isaiah Likely, Hollywood Brown, all in the same lineup yesterday. So that gives you an idea of what you're capable of doing, given some of the value that we've got here. I'm actually pretty excited to jump into some of these single lineup builds.
Yeah, let's check it out. And one thing that we did last week that I also ended up doing on my 30-minute show on Live Before Lock last Sunday is trying to build stacks of everything, meaning going through all of the different games, trying to make a stack of each team. And I think that's even easier to do now that there's only 4 games.
Yeah, definitely. So let's make it happen. Happy to have you guys with us, by the way. Forgot that at the top. If you don't mind, take a single second, atone for your sins this fine morning. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. It's free. Both of them, believe it or not. You know what else is free? Leaving a comment down below or listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever platform you want. You can even, if you don't have YouTube Premium, go on Apple, Spotify, whatever it is, and close your phone. Listen with the lights off, so to speak. But yeah, let's get into this one. I've been doing these divisional round best ball drafts on DraftKings.
Mm-hmm.
It's 4-person pods, so 4-person drafts. It's crazy. It's 12 rounds, Greg, but lightning speed. Like I got a draft done while I sat on the toilet this morning. It took 9 minutes to get a draft done, a 12-round draft.
It's like best
pretty
ball
sweet.
crack.
They're pretty fun. Pretty fun. And it's 4 teams, 12 rounds. You guys should try them out. They're awesome. Anyway, glad you guys could join us. Let's get into this. Eric Johnson, hey, quick question. Did you hear the rumor that Kupp fucked Stafford's wife? No, but given his lack of, he is out of the offense at this point. Wouldn't surprise me.
There's a rumor I can confirm that he fucked a bunch of my showdown lineups the other day.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's been reported anywhere, but I could confirm that as a fact.
It just feels like an alternate reality when you've got 4 tight ends on the same team that not only had a target, but a reception before Cooper Kupp saw his first target. Mind-blowing. Mind-blowing stuff. Yeah. Stephen Leibowitz said, not a great visual. I mean, I could think of worse. All right. Let's go. Let's get into it.
Yeah, let's start looking at some of these spots.
I say we start at the top with Lamar.
Let's do it. Yeah, I had also something that's kind of worth noting here. With these being 2-game slates, you could definitely approach them a little bit different in terms of correlation and construction. I almost had a lineup that won last week, Lofty, and it is not a lineup I would hand build if I was just making lineups normally. My best lineup last week, it was a Lamar triple stack. Would you like to guess who the 3 stacking partners were with him?
Sure. Likely Henry and Justice Hill.
That was it. Yeah, and I only finished a few points out of first in the big contest last week. I thought I was live, and then the Ravens just didn't have to play on like the final couple of drives, really. But you can make some weird lineups, and even if you might traditionally think, oh, this doesn't correlate how you would normally want a lineup to look, on a lot of these slates, there's a bigger advantage to playing unique lineups that the field isn't playing than I think having lineups that traditionally we think of as being the best built lineups in terms of what they look like.
Definitely. If you play the traditional route on small slates, you're almost certainly just going to lose like a lot, you know. I will say Henry, Likely, Justice Hill is a wild stacking combo with Lamar.
I didn't do it intentionally.
No, look, I mean, I guess, listen, when you run the ball 50 times, then yeah, sure. And Justice Hill scored on a receiving touchdown.
Yeah.
I know I use this phrase a lot, but I mean, if that is not the craziest needle thread, like, you know, you have a ton of rushing attempts, very few passing attempts. Justice Hill, was that his only reception?
I think he had other ones. I could be misremembering though. I could be thinking of rushing attempts. I'll pull up his game log.
No, he had 4. He had 4 for 13 and a touchdown.
Right,
so that helps.
Yeah, 4 targets. So it wasn't that crazy that he ended up having a decent receiving game with 4 targets.
Your point stands though. Like your point stands that if you're doing something, not in a million years are you going, like, they say if you gave, you know, monkeys an infinite time to type the full works of Shakespeare, eventually they'd have to do it. It's stupid. You guys know what I'm referring to,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Just
It's
like
just if
referring
there
to
was,
infinity.
yeah,
If you
if
gave
they
me
didn't,
infinity, I'm not sure, in infinite time, and there were a million of me, I'm not sure I ever would have gotten to that lineup by hand.
yeah, I'm also skeptical that the monkeys would actually type up a full
I
Shakespeare
totally
play.
agree. I totally agree. Now, I get it. Infinite time, right? So it's like it's infinite. So I guess the problem with that is that your brain can't compute eternity. The brain's incapable of computing that. You can't process because everything you know in life is finite. You can't think of it. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
Try.
I don't even know that the monkey's going to learn how to use the typewriter though.
They just slam the keys is the point.
They'll eventually get bored and they start throwing shit at each other though.
Well, you can't just insert different variables into it doesn't work like that.
The whole thing has always been stupid to me. I could
But
insert
if it's
whatever.
infinite, even if they did start throwing shit at each other, eventually they'd come back to the keyboards.
Potentially. Or maybe they just leave and they go somewhere else.
I don't know. I don't like thinking about infinite or eternity. It freaks me out. There's actually a name for it too. Uh, like phobia of eternity. We'll talk sometime. But yeah, so if you start with Lamar, let's just do that. And then we'll plug Henry, Hill, and Likely in.
All right, let's try running it
No,
back.
no,
Although
we're
I
not
have
doing.
to,
No, we're not doing that. I'm joking. I was just
I'm
seeing if you
actually,
were
I'm
listening.
actually curious though how. Yeah, we don't have that poor of a projection, likely 7.54 fantasy points, but it's just not gonna. There's no way it's gonna come out well just because we have Flowers projected in right now. So likely is just not looking any good.
What I'd like to do is go Barkley and Gibbs, and then try to see if we can build around that.
Okay.
Okay. Let's go Barkley, Gibbs. Can we do Andrews here? Like, what does that leave us with?
Yeah, Andrew's only 4,500.
We can make this work
Should
with
plug in
like
a defense.
Texans D.
Yeah, Texans, Commanders, one of those two. They're both really cheap.
Go Texans D because we have Gibbs. So then naturally, a guy like Khalil Shakir fits in here.
Yeah, and then we'll probably end up having to go tight end in the flex, which I don't have any issue with either.
Me neither. I want to see if we can get away from being super chalky in this build. So how do we do that with like a Dawson Knox or something? Because right now, if you were to just take the framework of this build, there's no doubt that's a really popular build.
Yeah, Dawson Knox is going to be. I mean, he's not even that low on our projections, 8%. I mean, it's relatively low for a 2-game slate, but he also projects so poorly, 4.5 fantasy points.
I know. You could go. I mean, Dallas Goedert looks pretty good there, but Sam Laporta is probably the answer.
Yeah, we could go to Laporta. There's a lot of good tight ends on this slate. The ownership is really spread out, and I don't really disagree with it.
Tight end's awesome, especially if Zay Flowers is out. Then Isaiah Likely at 37 or whatever 100 looks even better. 35. I don't remember what he is.
Yeah,
But
Kelsey's 5K, Laporta's 4,200, Dalton Schultz is 3,300, Kincaid is 3,700, Goddard is 3,900, Ertz 4K, Andrews 4,500. That's a lot of guys to go to for not expensive price tags.
yeah, it is. All right, so here's what you could do. I don't think you're getting the Puka Nacua here, but he looks really good. I wonder if you went, that gives you 2,700. I genuinely wonder if it would just make sense to punt the flex with a cheap tight end.
What do we have for remaining salary for the last two spots? What we put in right now, Jordan?
But watch this. If you take Puka Nacua or put Puka Nacua in and take Laporta out, then what do we have? That's tough.
Then it would have to be like Knox and Hollywood Brown.
Yeah, which I don't hate.
I don't like the Knox part, but I definitely like Hollywood Brown for cheap. 4,200, a couple of wide receivers for cheap that makes sense to me. Hollywood Brown, definitely number one that I have the most interest in. He's been just involved since coming in almost immediately since coming back from the shoulder injury. He's mispriced at $4,200. Diami Brown has big play upside. We saw him catch a touchdown pass last week. And then Zacchaeus being the other one at $4,300, who's also just been pretty involved in the Commanders' offense as of late. So those three guys are the cheap ones that I gravitate towards the most.
All right, so I still feel like with Dawson Knox being projected so poorly, that might hurt us there. But that's not a bad build. Like if you're willing to go to a Dawson Knox, which works as a double run back spot here, you have Andrews. Can we just try? Oh, okay. Was that with Knox and Puka Nacua and Hollywood Brown?
Yeah.
Okay, that's not bad. Now run it with the other one, right? What was the other one?
Yeah, so instead of Knox and instead of Nacua, go to Laporta at flex. Still Hollywood Brown though, Jordan, but Laporta at flex, Hollywood Brown, and then just who projects best after this. All right, let's see how this looks. It honestly might be pretty similar.
Yes, although I do wonder, while Devontae Smith projects better, Zay Flowers projects almost identically. And we have Lamar.
Fair. All right. This came out looking really good.
That
Good
looks
point by
great.
Laffy. Try Zay Flowers instead of Devonta Smith and see what that looks like.
I wonder if it's just going to be the same, which would be weird. But just given that Lamar has so much rushing upside, maybe it doesn't matter as much.
Yeah, about the
Wow.
same.
I mean, anything in that range is the same, right? So, all right. So this is your first time building lineups for this slate, right?
Correct.
Would you agree that so far it's pretty easy to build a lineup you feel okay about? And that's with Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, so far, no real massive issues. It really, really helps that tight end is so cheap.
Not just cheap, but good.
Yeah, these are pretty much all of the best. Well, not all of them, but the majority of the best fantasy tight ends for the season. And they're all priced down $1,000+ for no real reason.
Iwi. Dude, you gotta tell me how to pronounce that. I ask you every time. The EWWEE. Like, is there some unique way of pronouncing that, or did you just were you trying to Shakespeare the keyboard like a monkey? But he said Andrew's likely combo is the way to be different. I agree and I disagree. I think the Andrews likely combo is the way to be different if Flowers plays. If Flowers doesn't play, I don't think the Andrews likely combo is going to be all that unique. Like, I think that'll be relatively popular, honestly. Like, because likely is so cheap that if you're getting Andrews and likely, knowing that likely lined up outside quite a bit and in the slot last week, they're going to play on a lot. I think he led all pass catchers in snaps. Maybe it was Bateman, but he was up there, right? He played more snaps than Mark Andrews last game. 80%. Yeah. He played more snaps than anybody else, not named Lamar Jackson. So I don't think it'll be ooh-wee. Okay. Ooh-wee. Got it. I don't actually think that it's going to be unpopular if Flowers is out.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. And also Eric Johnson, the chat saying the lineup is awfully chalky. Any players in single digit ownership. It's a 4-game slate. In general, there aren't that many players projected for single digit ownership that are viable.
I don't disagree though that it's chalky, which is why the whole, yeah, I guess it is. Who knows?
Hollywood Brown is, but that's not going to hold. He's currently
Maybe people
projected
don't
to
want to
make
play Texans defense and Noah Gray and, you know, or not Noah Gray, Dawson Knox. We can be, we can try one with Josh Allen and see how that looks as well.
Yeah, I think we should try ones with all the QBs. Well, maybe not all the QBs, but all the games.
Sure. But even though this is the same game, we got to try it here. So how do you want to approach it? I kicked the last one off with the dual expensive running back. And for what it's worth, Eric, even if we build these out chalky, even if they sim negatively, not really the purpose of the show. I wanted to see if we could build a lineup that came out nice with two chalky running backs. Maybe a way to do it is you go Derrick Henry over Saquon or something like that. There's ways to make it happen, but this is just kind of, can we make this work? How does this build work? And so far this week's easier than last week. So kick us off on the Josh Allen stacks.
All right. So the ones that make the most sense to stack him with for me are Shakir and Dalton Kincaid.
Okay. If you wanted to, you can just go with one of these guys. You don't have to stack. You don't have to double stack Josh Allen. They throw to too many people. You can if you want.
Yeah, there's still individual guys that I like though. So
okay, so you want to go Shakir
formation.
and Kincaid?
I agree. Don't have to though.
Kincaid's at least 3,700 now. So that works. All right. I wanted the Derrick Henry run back here.
Okay. And Derrick Henry is 8K. He is my least favorite of all the pay-up running backs. But that's kind of how I always feel about Derrick Henry relative to the other guys.
He's my least favorite as well, but in this spot, I want to at least try it. I know he doesn't project as well as Barkley or Gibbs. I like them better as well.
All right, so plug in the Texans defense again, Jordan.
Do you want to pay up at running back again? It's very doable. And if not, who do you want to pay down to? Because I actually think Austin Eckler would be my favorite pay down option this week. Maybe not ahead of Pacheco, but honestly, maybe. 55.5 total game. Good chance they're playing from behind. They're 9-point dogs. Eckler essentially split all of the work in the backfield, split the snaps with Brian Robinson Jr. last week. We don't have to plug him in here. What I'm saying though is if there were a cheap guy that I'd get to, you know, you can always in large fields go to a Ty Johnson or a Justice Hill or a Kareem Hunt, but I think Austin Eckler actually looks decent. I'm surprised he's as popular as he is.
It's an Austin Eckler game script relative to Brian Robinson. If you look at what's the spread now, 8 points?
Yeah, 9 last I looked.
Okay, so it's been on the move here a little bit. 9.5 now, actually. All right, so this
well, it's been 9.5. I mean, even FanDuel had it at 8.5, so it's kind of all over the place. But yeah.
But either way, inching towards the Lions more and more, just with what the line is, I think we should expect this to be a second half where Austin Eckler is getting some PPR points. $5,100. I agree with you. If I'm going to go with one cheap running back, Eckler's the one who stands out. Pacheco does to an extent as well. I just don't know what to expect from his workload because of how well Kareem Hunt played in his absence. And Andy Reid has kind of indicated that they're going to keep the same backfield usage going forward with Pacheco and Hunt splitting snaps. So I don't really know what to make of that. And while Eckler and Robinson are splitting snaps, we kind of know what the defined roles are. Brian Robinson's the guy who plays more when the Commanders are ahead. Eckler plays a little bit more when they're behind. So I don't have an issue plugging in at 5,100.
Let's do it then. Let's make it happen. We should try a 3 running back lineup. See how that works. Like if we threw, who do you like more, Barkley or Gibbs? I don't think it actually matters.
I prefer Gibbs. A little bit cheaper. They project about the same, but Gibbs is cheaper.
Fine with me. Plus, yeah, that's fine. That's still 5,100 remaining per player. If you wanted to go with, well, Bateman probably wouldn't be the play here just because we have Flowers in.
Yeah, we could go.
You could go Jamison Williams and then pay down elsewhere. That might get you to Hollywood Brown.
Yeah, let's see if we started with Hollywood Brown. Who
I
projects
think you'd
the
get
best?
Jamison.
Okay.
Right? That works? Yeah.
Does McLaurin fit in? No.
No, you're 200 short.
We could always change defenses.
I like this lineup, though. I definitely like this lineup.
Yeah, just go to Jameson Williams, Jordan. Uh-oh, we broke Jordan. we threw too many things out, and he was pressing all the buttons at once. It's the monkey trying to land on the right lineup this time. All right, looks solid.
Jordan, what if you took out Henry and take out Jamison Williams, put in Barkley and Zay Flowers? See if that's better or worse.
It'll be better because Derrick Henry just doesn't project. Oh, about the same.
Interesting. Huh. All right. Where do we go next? Oh, and if you guys want to check these tools out, I mean, we've been watching this show all season long, but if you're new or you've just been on the fence, if you want to check this out, click the description, expand it, join any sportsbook, gets the Stokastic Sims free. You see that right there? That's all you have to do. Literally, click that. You'll see 4 simple steps. Sign up with any of our sportsbook partners, click claim offer on any of them. And by the way, if you click 4 of them and sign up on 4 of them, you get 4 months of Stokastic Core. It's a $100 value. You're not just getting these single lineup sims, you're getting the actual sim up to 1,000 lineups. You get the post contest sim. Is late swap with Core or no?
Yes.
It is. So you get late swap, like if you wanted to do NBA. You have late swap with that. You have all of our data, all of our projections, you name it. And all you're doing is signing up on those sports books, depositing. Usually it's like a $5 or $10 minimum deposit, and they give you bonuses too. So it's just the best of both worlds. Like scroll up to Bet365, Jordan. Deposit 10, bet 5, get $150 in bonus bets. I don't know why it's not on there. It should be on there. Any of those that you're not on. And if you're in pick'em sites, if you're in non-legal betting sites or states, pick'em sites are included. They count. You'll get the free months. And I figure, Greg, the fact that, and like I said, just follow those 4 simple steps. Sign up with the link, and then afterwards, take a screenshot of your first settled bet. Doesn't matter if you won or lost. Makes no difference to any of us. Send that and your welcome email to us just so we can track it and credit you with the free month. Send it to us at support@stokastic.com and let us know what month you want. But I was saying yesterday with the Portfolio EV having a week free, like the free trial now, where you get your full week for free, first week for free. Why not just double dip, jump in on the sportsbook offers? Because one of the tenets, the primary tenets of Portfolio EV, which is our betting tool, is you need to be on as many books as possible. So just double, triple dip here. You know what I mean? It's the way to go.
Yeah, double, triple, quadruple dip. You sign up for books. You get free access to Stokastic. You could also then get, like you said, more access to Portfolio EV. You're getting the sign-up bonuses. So, yeah, I mean, you could get, I can't do the exact math, but it's like $1 billion in free stuff by signing up to all these, something along those lines, right? I heard that's how Bill Gates got started. He built his wealth on link joins.
Yeah. In all seriousness, though, yeah, if you weren't on any of these, you could get like upwards of $600 in bonus bets. Or if you're doing the first match deposits, like, you know, or the match deposit bonuses, like 400 or 500. You don't even have to do that. You could get, if you're doing you deposit like 30 total dollars and you're probably on 5 different books or something. So it's just a great opportunity. And like I said, with Portfolio EV, Greg and I use it every day. It's been super profitable for us all year long. Place every bet from my phone, top down market-based approach. If you're saying, what the hell is that? Just ask us. The first week is free. Check it out. Get on as many books as possible. Link in the description for both, whether it's the link join to get the Sims core, or you want to get a free week of Portfolio EV and say, you know what, I'm going to buoy all of my DFS losses until I hit a big one. It's the best way to do it. Hit us up. DMs are open. Join the Discord. That comes with any of these, and we'll be happy to help you guys out. All right. I want to try one with Jalen Hurts here.
Okay.
I feel like this may actually be the toughest one to build because Lamar's attachments are cheap outside of Henry. There's nobody expensive that you're pairing with Josh Allen. I think it might be the toughest with Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I'm thinking through the different potential stacks here, and different ones are difficult for different reasons. Like we just did Josh Allen. The Josh Allen one is complicated because you just don't know who the hell he's going to throw the football to on a week-to-week basis. But then if you look at Jalen Hurts, it's hard because you also don't really know who the guys are going to be, but they all have upside and they're really expensive.
So I just cheated a little bit here. Just right now, I ran a Sims. Favorite 150 lineups. This was a 5,000 field sim run in the contest generator. And so generated a contest of 5,000 entries, 20% to first, got 8% Jalen Hurts. 8%. But also got 27% Jared Goff. So that doesn't totally compute considering they're actually, wouldn't they be the closest, almost identical comparison? The Lions and the Eagles. You have 2 expensive, high projected running backs. You have 2 mid to low 6K and a high 6K quarterback. Jameson and Devontae are pretty comparable in price. And then St. Brown is pretty comparable in price to AJ Brown.
So the reason that we get to more Lions as of right now, and this is something that'll end up changing, is right now we have Detroit just across the board projected for really low ownership. I think the David Montgomery situation also kind of throws a little bit of a wrench into Jahmyr Gibbs's projection and what our expectations are going to be there. But because the Lions ownership is so low as a team right now, that's what's differentiating them and likely making them show up more than the Eagles players. But this is also not what this isn't what the final ownership is going to be. Not even close.
No, of course not. But again, it doesn't discount what I'm saying. They're very, very close in price point across the board. And even what about even Goddard and Laporta? Again, you have Goddard at 39 and Laporta at 42. All of these guys are a couple $100 off in price at their respective positions. I get what you're saying that we're projecting them for lower ownership, but I think it's going to be very similar builds is what I mean. If you're stacking with Hurts or you're stacking with Jared Goff. So maybe we stack with Goff instead.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just kind of comparing all the players across the board. And I think you're correct there. Like almost at each spot, Gibbs to Barkley, Amon-Ra St. Brown to AJ Brown. I mean, even guys with the same last name. Then you got Jameson Williams, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, Sam Laporta. And what's the difference in price across all those combinations? It's probably almost the exact same.
Right. It's nuts. I bet it. Let's see. Hold on. Let's just see. Jordan, plug in Hurts, Barkley, Brown. I mean, you could always just add it up, but Brown, Smith, and Goddard. Devontae Smith is pretty cheap.
Yeah. Jordan's going to pull out a calculator, get back to us by the time next week's slate.
That's 18,500 remaining if you played all of those guys. 18,500 remaining. And then if you were to do the Detroit side, yeah. Do you have a guess? Do the mental math.
I'm just gonna say it's almost the exact same because I haven't looked too close at all the players' salaries to have them remembered.
18,500 remaining. It's identical.
Okay, yeah, nice.
It's identical. That's nuts. We're talking 5 different guys come out to the exact, not that you're going to play all of them like that, but if you're stacking one of these teams, how unique, or not unique, but how much different is the Eagle stack going to look? It's not. It's the same thing.
Yeah, the differentiation point right now, it's just the ownership projection for us, really. I think the projection on Jahmyr Gibbs, just the raw fantasy point projection, we currently have him as the highest projected running back for the weekend, really flimsy. I really want to see more information on David Montgomery because Jahmyr Gibbs, while he obviously had a terrific regular season, his workload was so much different once Montgomery was out. And I don't know if Montgomery is going to be limited or what his role is going to be, but if Montgomery is full steam for this weekend, it's not to say Gibbs should be projected poorly, but Barkley should certainly be projected higher than Gibbs in that scenario.
Definitely. And for what it's worth, when I say they're the exact same, I'm not saying that they project the same. I'm saying that if you're building those lineups, they're going to look the same. You're going to have the same options. So, all right, let's try one with Jared Goff. Because you have to throw Gibbs in here. Do we just try Gibbs, St. Brown? Do we onslaught this? I think we do.
Gibbs, St. Brown. Yeah, I think we could do the 3 pass catchers and take. I would take Gibbs out and do the 3 pass catchers.
Really? You want to take Gibbs out?
Yeah, I don't have an issue with that.
Okay. I would have thought you would have said like just exclude Jameson or something.
Nah, mostly for me, it's just because Montgomery's back. Also, by the way, shout out to QK Shade in the chat, said he won the flea flicker last week because of you guys. The flea flicker, that's the $5 on DraftKings. So shout out to QK Shade.
Congrats, man. All right, so what do you want to do? St. Brown, Jameson Williams, and Laporta?
Yeah.
All right.
And then we could run it back with Eckler.
Okay. Let's try it. That gives us 5,300. I'm going to plug the Texans in again.
Okay.
Then you got 62. That's doable. That's very workable.
We could go Barkley.
Yeah, I think Barkley's the answer here. Now 5,200. Okay. Still easy. Do you go?
We could go.
You could get
double
weird.
Tight end, and we could plug in. We could go cheap at tight end and pay up for the other wide receiver spot.
Yeah, but we need to go very cheap. Like you need to go. Well, if you went Schultz, you could get AJ Brown.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
That's fine with me. Right? Is my math correct? We could get AJ Brown. Yep. All right. Okay. Let's run that. It's got to be good, right?
Yeah. Yeah, this lineup will sim out well. I do wonder AJ Brown and Saquon Barkley. Well, 210. Wouldn't even change anything then.
I wouldn't either. I wouldn't touch a thing there. I like that. And I like the Eckler run back as well. All right, should we go to FanDuel?
Yeah, let's go check out FanDuel.
Make sure you guys are rocking the avatar too. We just flipped over to the new year. So if you had ran it up to gold or you wanted to start over, bronze, silver, gold, brand new calendar year, which means you reset. If you already got a ring, you can get another ring. If you already got to the gold tier, you can go bronze, silver, gold again. I mean, really, when you think about it, it's what? Because it's for bronze, getting bronze, which is top 3 in a field of 5,000 or more. Just go to stokastic.com/HOF. You guys know the drill. Download those avatars, use them wherever it is you play. And then just tweet us your wins at StokasticHOF. Maybe a nice message. but more importantly, the screenshot showing the avatar, showing your win in that field. And you'll get, like, if you get bronze, a first time winner, that means you're grabbing $200 value. Stokastic Sims Max. Or no, I'm sorry, not Max, right? Yeah, it is Max. Sims Max for any sport you want, any single sport. If you win a second time in a calendar year, not only do you get another month of that, but you get a free week. So that's already like you're talking $430 or something. And then gold is a month of Sims all access. That's every single sport, every tool, full access. The entire catalog of everything on the site is wide open. You have everything on the site. And it doesn't matter if you entered like a 10-cent contest and won 3 of them. Right? Be sick to see bigger wins, but it doesn't matter. Top 3 in a field of 5,000 or more, just got to be rocking the avatar. That's all. And no bullshit photoshopping. I'll catch you. You get Ron on the job. Ron will take, I'm sure things have slipped through the cracks. I know people have gotten over on us before, but we try to put it under a microscope. Anyway, check it out. New year, rock the avatar. Let's go to FanDuel. What do you want to start with? We've done Goff, Allen, and Lamar, which leaves us with Stafford, Daniels, Mahomes. I think it's Mahomes. I think we got to try Mahomes and CJ Stroud.
One thing I will add is that FanDuel did split up the slates. So the big contest on FanDuel are the Saturday and Sunday ones individually. One thing actually that we should talk about for a few minutes after this, Lofty, is what we want to do with shows this weekend. We might want to move the Sunday show to Saturday.
Yeah, I was talking to Ben about it yesterday on the show, as a matter of fact. And when I said, I assume we're just doing the Saturday show.
Yeah. I just wasn't sure if you guys were available, but or else I think we just moved the Sunday show to Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's a 4:30 kickoff on Saturday, so just move it to like start at 2 o'clock or something. Do a half hour, then do 2:30 to 3:30, 3:30 to 4:30.
Yeah,
right. That makes the most sense, I think. Like, are you going to do your single lineup build on Saturday? So then we'll just start it at 2 o'clock. We'll run it up to 4:30.
We could do that.
Yeah. Fine with me. Fine with me. Patrick Mahomes. Let's do it on DraftKings then. I don't really want to have to build. We've been talking about this whole slate. I don't want to.
Okay. Yeah, we could do the Mahomes build over on DK here.
Well, I mean, look, if you want to do it on FanDuel, it's fine. The whole show we've been talking about the 4-gamer, so I don't know if it's necessary to break it up.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. Let's do the let's do it like this and do the DraftKings. It really sucks when the sites aren't it only sucks for us doing content, but it is really confusing to try to figure out how to cover when FanDuel and DraftKings are way different. It's been like that a lot for NBA too. Just the sites don't include the same games on each slate.
Mm-hmm. It's really annoying. Very annoying, but what are you going to do? We try and put the content out that'll be most helpful for you. Fly Guy says they do have a 4-game.
Yeah, they do.
But is it any decent?
All right. So here, I'll walk you guys through what the contest sizes are. So the Saturday only slate on FanDuel has a $550,000 prize pool. The Sunday only slate has a $700,000 prize pool. That's for the flagship contest. And then the biggest contest for the Saturday through Sunday has an $80,000 prize pool.
Yeah, we're not going to do that.
Yeah. I'm not saying they don't have it. That's just not what they're featuring.
I knew what you meant. Obviously, they're going to have something. Sure. All right, so let's try this. I want to start the build off with Mahomes, Hollywood Brown, and Kelsey. So in this lineup, we wouldn't have Xavier Worthy or DeAndre Hopkins, but Hollywood Brown and Travis Kelsey is an interesting way to start this off. 2 cheap options. Patrick Mahomes is dirt cheap. So if you were to plug in, do you care where we go with defense? We're not going to go with Texans again, but.
So defense.
Maybe we pay up a little bit on defense than this lineup.
We could go to the Commanders too. They're 2,300.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. They're projected for less than 4 points. Like, I think that actually might make a difference in how this lineup.
So here's the other side, though, is if we paid up at defense and let's say we went to the
Eagles,
Eagles,
Chiefs.
for instance, we'd have to, unless we were go all the way up to the Eagles, like the Rams are only projected for 5 fantasy points at $2,700. The Bills are projected for 4 fantasy points at $3,000.
All right, we can try it. Try it. Try Commanders.
I mean, the other option is we just go cheap. We go full Chiefs onslaught and use the Chiefs defense.
That's what it was. I think we could try that.
Chiefs defense is 3,600, so it's a little expensive, but
we have the cheap stack, so maybe it doesn't matter. Like, why don't we try it with one more expensive defense that still gives us 6,240 per player?
All right, so Chiefs defense. Any other players from the Chiefs we would want to add in then?
Listen, if you wanted to triple stack it, I don't think it's crazy.
Let's add Worthy in. Let's add Worthy in too.
Okay. I'll say though, I ran the Sims. This is interesting. Quarterback exposure when I favored 150. Mahomes was actually the second most exposed, or for me, behind Jared Goff. Zero 3-man Chief stacks. Zero.
Is it mostly 2-man stacks then of Hollywood, some combination of Brown, Worthy, Kelsey?
Yeah, it may actually be 4s. No, there's no way. Let's try it however you want. You want to try 3? Let's do it 3.
Yeah. Just here, the game script here. Chiefs just win this game, which isn't that crazy. I mean, I know that the people seem to have come around on the Texans because people really liked the Chargers last week and the Texans annihilated them. The public was super low on the Texans as of halftime of that game and making fun of CJ Stroud. And all of a sudden, CJ Stroud is back. And I'm not saying it's impossible. I like the Texans coming into the season. They just regressed in a way we weren't expecting. But I do think the narrative has gone a little bit too far in the other direction because of how good they looked in the second half last game.
For sure. All right, well, so then what does this build look like if you have, what do we have right now? We have, let me pull this up. Jordan, read those off to me. Okay.
So what do you want to do at running back?
Whatever, we can do whatever we want. We could go Barkley, Gibbs. I don't think you go Henry, Barkley, but you can do any combination of Gibbs and one of those guys. I think it'd be very workable.
How about Gibbs and Kyron Williams? We haven't put Kyron Williams into a lineup yet.
Sure.
It's pretty clear he's playing on just about every play now that Blake Corum's done.
Yeah, even before Blake Corum was done.
Yeah.
If this is the postseason, that's wouldn't have mattered. 5,700. Oh, interesting. What if
we could go Nakua and punt tight end?
That's exact. You don't even have to punt. You still have 4,000 remaining. It's gonna. Let me sort by projection. There's stupid 4K running backs. You can get to Goddard. You can get to Kincaid.
Probably Goddard.
Sure. I have no clue if this is going to sim well or not.
I think it will. Yeah, that's our best one yet. Best one of the day.
Yeah, it is. Fantastic. Do you think that'll be chalky? Because I think we're really under projecting ownership on the Chiefs right now.
For sure. The Chiefs and the Lions. With that said, though, maybe the narrative changes because it's like, hey, Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. This Chiefs offense has not been popular the entire season.
No, but they're so cheap. They're so cheap. And they're 8-point favorites.
Yeah. The only time they've been popular is on showdown slates.
I'm fully in agreement with you, but Kelsey's 5K. You know, like they're dirt cheap. Big favorites. They've got to have some ownership. Anyway. Anything else you want to look at? Because we're going to do the sim show on Friday. We'll have, more. Ooh, he said I'm duping that for sure. Yeah, it's a good looking lineup. That's why we do this. Like these might not be lineups, and probably won't by the time we get there that we actually play. Remember it's Saturday, not Sunday.
Yeah.
But it's really fun to see what works and what doesn't. And it gives you a better idea of what you're capable of building. And when, we're doing this I think you and I both really enjoy doing this earlier in the week. So it gives everybody and ourselves some runway to kind of get your feet underneath you going into the main slate.
Yeah, and yes, things are certainly going to change for a variety of reasons. Ownership always updates as we get closer to the games, and the other part of it too. I mean, we don't know if Zay Flowers is going to be in or out. David Montgomery, even though it appears he's going to play, we don't know what his workload is going to be. If we find out that David Montgomery's full workload, then the slate also looks different because all the other Lions players come down a little bit in projections. Jahmyr Gibbs most notably. So definitely things will change, but in general, the things that we built today in lineups, it is what I am going to like for the most part.
Me too. But to your point, the whole Zay Flowers thing, Montgomery stuff, that's actually pretty significant, right? If Flowers is out, things change for sure. So we'll pay attention. As I said, you can always find us anywhere. Hit us up. Happy to answer questions, whether it's just about this stuff or about, jumping into the Sims product, jumping into Portfolio EV. Your first week is free over there. Your whole month is free with Sims if you sign up with the link join using those sports books or pick'em sites. But any questions you guys have, Greg and I are pretty accessible and happy to answer, even if it takes a bit to get back to you. We'll see you on Friday for the single lineup sim show. Sad, no more Thursday football. But then, like you said, we kind of just scheduled it out on the show. Saturday, probably see you around, because we're not going to stick Josh on a show for that. He might have a conniption if we tried to put him on at 1:30 for a main slate football show.
Yeah, no, it'll be, we'll figure it out. We'll just have to, I'll say, as soon as we're done with this, I'm going to send out a message to see who's available on Saturday.
Yeah, either way, probably like 2:00 Eastern start, something like that. But appreciate you guys hanging out. We'll see you back here Friday at 10. Live before live, deeper dive for NBA tonight, followed by, are you doing playback? I assume you do have playback going tonight.
Yep, playback tonight as well.
Playback and all that good stuff. We will see you guys back here for the next one. Peace.